Hello and welcome to Inderes TV. Kempower released their Q4 result a good week ago, and now I'm in the studio with Analyst Pauli Lohi to discuss the company and the result. Hello, Pauli.
Hi, Pia.
So, in Q3, you summarized Kempower's result by saying numbers were not pretty. What happened in Q4?
Well, definitely improvement compared to prior quarters, which were difficult for the company. So now sales and orders improved significantly compared to previous quarters, and also the profitability reached black numbers as expected, which was definitely an improvement. And it was affected by the savings, but also about the pickup in delivery volumes and sales.
Yeah, so there was actually positive development in the business in itself and not just from cost savings.
Yes.
Yeah. There's been talk about the order intake normalizing. Do you see this as a trend-like shift, or is it too early to tell?
Well, it's definitely early yet at this point, but I think there is a positive drivers, and then now when you see that there's positive development in the company's numbers too, you kind of see that there is more like evidence that these big trends will start to materialize over time. So one of the most important things is that EU tightened their emission regulations for the new cars in Europe from the beginning of this year, and it will affect the EV demand and then EV charger demand with some lag, but eventually. But we shouldn't expect linear development. There will be ups and downs probably.
Yeah, well, naturally.
Yeah.
Usually that's the case. There have still been high customer inventory levels that have plagued the industry or demand in Europe. This has lasted for quite a while. How long do you expect that to continue? Is there destocking going on already?
Yes, there is destocking now, but this origins from like 2022 and 23. There was this component shortage and supply shortage of EV chargers. Then many customers bought chargers a lot to their inventory, and now they are installing them. So this has definitely hampered Kempower's orders and sales last year, and this will probably continue, or at least company says that it will continue during the first half of this year, and roughly during the summer the situation will start to improve, but definitely it's not like there is no like one day that suddenly everyone starts to buy a lot more chargers. So I would expect the demand to improve a lot during the second half.
Yeah, so towards the end of the year we should see signs of improved demand then.
Yes.
Yeah. So we already mentioned part of what's happening this year. The company, or it seems that Q1 will still be sluggish because of the order book and of course this inventory problem as well. Yeah. But you also mentioned that demand outlook is strengthening, like we mentioned now, talked about already. But what's your overall view then going even further, 26?
Well, if you start from the short term, you basically know that you will deliver quite little volumes due to the order book, and that will burden your profitability. Then we are looking closely how the order intake develops during Q1, Q2, and that will indicate what's the sales in the latter part of the year, and we need to see some improvement at least in Q2 to reach their guidance, which is still like positive, indicating some 20% growth for this year. So
right.
So but that will be heavily tilted towards the latter part of this year.
Yeah.
And well, it's a bit early to say anything about 26, but we are definitely expecting pretty strong growth because the long-term growth trend of DC charging is more close to 30% a year, and now we have been suffering from weak years due to the inventory problems mainly, and if the EV demand really picks up, well, January figures were super good, but it could be that the car companies were playing with reporting to like move EV sales from December to January to meet the EU expectations. But if that continues to grow during this year, it will definitely boost the demand from the customer side.
So after summer, we will be slightly wiser when we've seen what's happened in Q1 and Q2.
Yes.
Yeah. And then finally, what's the valuation like, and what's our recommendation for Kempower?
Well, we upgraded our recommendation to accumulate after Q4 report. We were previously with a reduced recommendation, but now we have accumulate and €13 target price. I think that Kempower's competitiveness and products are still very good and cost competitive, and this allows the company to enjoy some of the highest gross margins in the industry. So if the market growth recovers back to the long-term trend, Kempower's earnings would increase quite fast. But the earnings-based valuation multiples are still high for the next few years, so you are kind of dependent on the long-term outlook, and that definitely increases the valuation risk in this case. And it's not easy to estimate accurately what will happen, but if the market recovery materializes and demand picks up, there could be even quite fast shift in valuation.
Okay, thank you, Pauli.
Thank you.
So Kempower, our recommendation turned positive, and destocking hopefully will continue. You can read more in the report at Inderes.se.